We have a very special guest, Dan Greenewalt from Turn 10 from Microsoft Gaming Studios.
Thanks for having me.
We're very happy to have you here. I got to play this game yesterday. We're talking Forza Motorsport 7.
Forza Motorsport 7.
Coming off the back of Forza Horizon 3 last year, which I gave number 3 on my Game of the Year list.
Nice, thank you very much.
Very good game. You know, and then even the fan service you're doing with that now, with the Hot Wheels DLC and everything else, that game has a very long useful life. So I was a little surprised when they even announced this, but I was like, okay, Motorsport.
Yeah.
See, I feel like you do Horizon, then you do Motorsport, then you do Horizon, then you do Motorsport. So, but my God, I finally got my hands on it, and wow, I can't think of a better game to showcase this new hardware from Microsoft, the Xbox One X.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about how long you've been working on 7 and some of the key differentiators that you guys have in it?
Yeah, man, you loaded me up there. There's a whole lot going on. So Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon share a code base, the Forza Tech code base. It's 2 teams, Playground Games and Turn 10, but it's one vision. We've got a 5-year vision for this franchise. And what's great about having both games is that they speak to a different part of car culture and gaming culture. So Forza Horizon, open world, beautiful, go explore, collect. It's more of a gamer's game, right? Forza Motorsport, it's about competition, it's about precision, but also it's about broadening. We've got kids that play split screen with the assists. It makes it super easy. The progression, something people can follow. And we have professional motorsport athletes, esports athletes, as well as professional race car drivers driving it.
Wow.
Just a really broad group of people. So we're able to do Horizon Motorsport, and actually appeal to a complete set of racing gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to the Xbox One X, this is where Forza Motorsport really shines. So this Forza Tech engine, for the first time, was built from the ground up for PC. So
really?
high-end PC, yep. We lowered the min spec, and what that did was bring Scorpio, Xbox One X, to life. Our architect was actually on the committee that was designing Xbox One X early on, and we were able to make our engine work so well with DirectX 12, DirectX 12X, which powers a console, and Xbox One X. So what you have is the equivalent of like a really high-end PC in your living room.
Yeah.
And Forza Motorsport 7 runs at native 4K, solid 60 frames per second, and we have all these up-res textures in it. And when we did all that work, we still had 30% more headroom in the power to actually do more. So we were doing things with anti-aliasing and shadow resolution and level of detail on cars. I mean, you name it, we were able to just crank everything up. So the Xbox One X, it is like a high-end PC, but it's so well optimized, and it's a fixed platform. So the developers like us can really optimize the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So by doing that work for the Xbox One X, it actually brought our min spec on the PC down. So by optimizing at the high end, you actually get benefits at the low end as well.
Wow.
As well as Xbox One and Xbox One S. The game looks better on all devices, and it runs more smoothly.
So this is optimization that occurred for this this specific title, right?
It did.
Because Horizon 3 already ran great on PC.
It did, yeah, it ran great, and we had Forza Motorsport 6 Apex, which is a title that we released on Windows 10 PC, and that was when we first brought over the Forza Tech engine to PC, and then it went into Forza Horizon 3, and now Forza Motorsport 7.
Awesome. And you mentioned something earlier where you balance this blue ocean appealing to everyone's strategy, but at the same time, hardcore racing sim fans love your game. I think that's very difficult to do. And you guys have this, it's like a sliding scale that really, it must have taken years to refine that.
Well, we call it the Forza way, and so it's a design philosophy that we don't believe in compromising physics. Physics is always first. So even when you look at like dynamic weather in the game, it's a physics-first approach.
Yeah.
So we were researching, in Forza Motorsport 6, puddles and hydroplaning, and now what happens when tarmac dries out, and what happens when it gets wet, and what about when it heats up? So we have Dubai, one of the new tracks. It's incredibly hot. So what happens to friction when it heats up? So dynamicism is friction. It is physics first, and then it is moving clouds and beautiful graphics and all of that. that physics-first approach applies to the way we even do assists and get a more approachable game for everybody. We keep that physics rock solid on the cutting edge of science. We're doing research on tires that no other, commercial simulators aren't doing. We have that access to research because of the Microsoft name and because of partners we have like Porsche. And then we had assist after assist after assist that you can turn on or off so that my kids can play split screen, have a great time. There's a new assist, it's the off-track assist. When you go into the dirt, it just is more easy, less punishing. You can get right back on track, which is great for split screen.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's just awesome. No, I was thinking of Nürburgring. In the demo I tried yesterday, the rain there is a perfect example of what you're talking about. First lap, it starts raining. There's a different kind of feel to pavement when it first rains versus when there's already rain on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's noticeable. And then come that third lap, the sun comes back out, you got puddles.
Right.
And each lap of that race felt different.
I'm glad you were able to feel that. That's what I love about Forza, is there's always more depth when you're ready for it.
Yeah.
When you jump into the game, it can be easy to play. You turn off those assists, more and more depth is revealed. And when you're really on that path of mastery, you notice the difference every single corner, every time you race.
Yeah, no, I was telling Aaron this, and anyone really I talked to at Microsoft, I really believe you guys are the premier first-party developer that they have at that company. And this game blew me away with just the visuals, the gameplay, which has always been great. But you can feel there's the slight changes you made. And I think it's definitely environmental. It's definitely physics-based.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you really do a great job of making a sim/arcade experience.
And with this version being developed for the PC first, we brought in a whole host of wheels. Force feedback options, we've redone the way we did force feedback, and this is how we appeal to a broad audience. Do I think everybody's going to use PC? Well, of course not.
Yeah.
Do I think they're all going to use wheel? Well, of course not. But do we want people who use wheel to feel like this is the best game for them? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We want to bring people into our tribe. People that love cars and love games. That's what Forza is all about.
Yeah. No, I think optionality has always been a key in just like you said, your design philosophy at the company, and it definitely shows in this iteration of it. But it's clearly been something you've been working towards.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the best Forza game you've ever made?
I do. I think it's the most technically advanced. It's the most comprehensive. It's over 700 cars. The largest collection of Lamborghinis, Porsches, and Ferraris ever assembled in a game.
So I remember when you started out, you were the new kids on the block relative to, that other company over there. And they were the preeminent racer. They have trouble releasing a game, and you guys will lap them like 3 times. Well, now car companies are like, hey, wait a second. They're on Forza Motorsport 7. Let's get the Porsche in there.
Well, I can't speak to what others are doing. But what I can say is that we've got a 5-year vision. And a lot of that involves esports. So this coming weekend, this is a historic week, right? We unveiled the Porsche 911 Gt2 Rs on stage, a world debut.
Yeah.
We've had cars on stage before, and they've been really cool, dropping out of the ceiling, coming out of the floor.
McLarens.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Amazing cars. But this was a world premiere of a car, and that's not because of us. That's not because of Forza. That's because of the gamers.
Yeah.
There are 4.8 million active players every month playing in Forza.
Wow.
It's a huge community, and so if you're a car company, of course you'd like to get them to be playing in your cars.
Sure.
And for us, this is what the future of gaming is about. We want to bring gamers and racers together and actually create a space that's for a new generation.
Sure.
I can't get kids involved in cars by making them, forcing them. I can't get them into new things. I have to embrace what they're into. Mixer, streaming,
sure.
esports. So this weekend at Le Mans, the 85th running of Le Mans, esports champions will be crowned on the actual podium. So we already have had racers, like Forza racers have been on the podium for years at Le Mans. We have a lot of professional race car drivers that race Forza, they're part of our community. But this is the first time that people are on the podium because they are racing in a video game.
Yeah.
It's the rise of the gamer. That's what brought Porsche to us for the world debut, and that's what's happening with esports there at Le Mans for the first time in history.
What a time to be alive. Don't you wish you were like 20 years younger and you can get into esports? I feel like I peaked in my esports career at like age 16 or something.
Yeah. The funny thing is I go talk to like boys and girls clubs and things like that, and 10 years ago it was about oh yeah, I want to be a developer. You've got that dream job, and now they're like, yeah, you make games. That's all well and good. I want to be a professional esports athlete.
Yeah, right.
So I'm kind of in the service industry now. I make the games for them to consume. It's been amazing to watch that transition. I love it. My kids are really into esports and streaming. And yeah.
I mean, it's definitely been transformational in the last 5-10 years. The games media, the way that gaming companies are addressing their fans, it's really changed. We see Nintendo Direct. We see a lot of innovation when it comes to going straight to the gamer.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have done a great fan service with that. Another area that you really appeal to gearheads is the customization in the game. So is there more? Is it crazier?
There is more.
Can I tune my car? Will my friends be jealous of my ride?
So in Forza Horizon 3, we introduced wide-body kits for the first time in the Forza franchise. Those wide-body kits and more are coming to Forza Motorsport 7. So you'll have wide-body kits, you've got more customization options, of course you have livery editor tuning and upgrades.
Yeah.
And with over 700 cars, it's really about making your cars your own. But here's the really new thing. We pulled the driver out of the car. So you think about Drivatar. The Drivatar technology puts you into my race, even in single player. So we can, if we know each other, we can have a water cooler talk later about, oh, your Drivatar did this, your Drivatar did that. Well, it's not just going to be your Drivatar and his behavior in your car with your paint job. Now it's going to have your customized driving suit on it. And the suits are really cool. There's over 300 pieces of driving gear. Some are total buttoned up professional suits. Some are like 1930s.
I kept switching to the Microsoft one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there was it was the Forza Motorsport, and I think it had Microsoft on the chest or something.
Right, yeah.
That one looked kind of cool. Yeah, no, the other thing I noticed, the 3 demos I did, one was Dubai, one was Nürburgring, and the third was a truck race.
Yeah.
Is that the first time you've had trucks of that size?
I think that truck came into Forza Motorsport on as sustained content on Forza Motorsport 6.
Okay.
But now it's fully integrated into the career. We have a whole new career, the Forza Drivers Cup, where you get to experience the diversity of this car list.
Yeah.
So race cars like the Nissan GT-R that you experienced on Nürburgring.
Oh yeah.
And then this truck, which is just huge. Mugello, the track that it's on, is actually a really wide track, very high speed. But in those trucks, all of a sudden it feels pretty narrow.
Those turns are super narrow.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I cut through the grass on some of those turns.
You can do that.
It's a life hack. It's a Forza hack. Get on that.
But that's the other thing to do with that Forza philosophy of how we design. We actually have a new way of doing what's a clean versus a dirty lap and making that more structured for esports. And then with these new surface assists, so you go off track, it makes it easier. So in single player, cut them off, have a good time, doesn't matter. But when you're actually in leagues and in esports, we can detect when somebody is cutting or driving through, and you can actually
penalize them.
We can, and so the goal is to have it both ways. This is what I mean about no compromise. We don't want to just have it be strict all the time. When you're in free player and split screen, you don't want it strict.
Yeah.
But when you're in multiplayer and stakes really are high, of course you want it strict.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. It goes back to what I was saying with optionality. It's like you guys have created a tool, and it's really up to the gamer to decide how they're going to play it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what makes a great game, is allowing people to play, and figure out new ways to do things.
One thing, I haven't actually talked to anybody about this yet, the campaign, Forza Drivers Cup, you can actually go in and change the options so the races are really long. So it's the same campaign, but the races get more like, instead of just like a quick 5 to 10 minute sprint race, they become like an hour-long race, a long race. Totally changes the nature of the career. You still level up, you still get as much money as anybody else would in the same number of minutes, so we scale it up, right? But we're just trying to give that optionality, exactly what you're saying. You want a career that feels more like professional big motorsport? Do it. You want just a sprint career where you're jumping through and unlocking cars? Do that.
And I was going to ask you about cars, because I have a car that I don't know if it's in the game. Do you guys have the Tesla Model S in the game yet?
The Tesla has been in the game in the past. Yeah, I'm not confirming which cars, all the cars are in this game right now.
But you have a relationship at some point with Tesla.
Yeah, we've had the Tesla in the game in the past.
That'd be cool. No, I'd love to see my car in there. I know it's not as fast as the Nismo or anything, but...
Well, the Tesla is incredibly fast, as a lot of electric cars are off the line. Yeah, it's when you start dealing with the weight as you're cornering, that's when you start getting into a little bit more trouble.
That makes sense. No, I don't know. What else do we talk about? The online play. Are any improvements from Horizon or changes?
Well, in Forza Motorsport 6, we had a league system, which was kind of like tournaments that took place over the course of weeks, and you got points. Well, we started working with our community, getting feedback on what they liked and didn't like, and we've actually made changes to the league system and how that works at a fundamental level to address some of the feedback we got from our players.
Cool.
The cool thing about, and you were mentioning how we're in this cool time where things have changed, you know, like games have changed, relationships between developers and gamers has changed.
Yeah.
We were prototyping Forza Motorsport 7 features in Forza Motorsport 6. We did content updates in Forza 6 for our esports initiative, the Forza Racing Championship. Those are Forza 7 features. We developed them for 7, we implemented them in 6. They're of course in 7 as well. But we were getting feedback from our fans.
Yeah.
So Season 1 of the Forza Racing Championship, we got some feedback, we made some changes. Season 2, same thing. Season 3 is running right now in partnership with Porsche. We're going to continue to make changes, and that's what's going to happen after the game ships as well.
Yeah.
We'll continue to update, make the game better, listen to our fans. And that's changed the fundamental way that a premium game is made. It's now made with the community. It's made with the help of them. It's not just what we want to make, it's what do they want to play.
You know, going back to the story real quick, because you mentioned it's definitely a focus on the drivatars. One thing we're seeing in a lot of sports games, and I think there's a corollary between sports and racing.
Sure.
These like My Player or Madden announced the story mode, where it actually gives you like almost cutscene stories about your player. Have you thought about doing something that's more like actual, like almost a campaign mode?
You know, we tend to think about the car and the relationship between you and the car as a big deal. So part of it is that when you are good at Forza, you are good at driving. Like, there is a correlation between skill in the game and skill in driving. That's unprecedented in most games.
You hear that? I'm a good driver.
I'm not going to say that you're the best.
Said so.
That's right. That's right. So that is a unique part of the game, and we really focus on that. So to us, when we talk about campaign, it's actually, part of it is your campaign in the simulator. Not a fictional character, but it's actually you as a driver. And we want you to become a better driver, start understanding how weight distribution works in a car, but we do it the slow way. We don't try and give you a tutorial. We want you to challenge yourself. So we give you rewards. Challenge yourself, make it harder, turn off the assists, you get more rewards for that. No,
I think that's what's led to the replayability of the franchise over the years, and I just can't wait to get more hands-on with this, honestly. I have a long-standing rivalry with several of my friends, and we go on Xbox Live and we just try to beat the crap out of each other in this game. So it's been fun, and you know, being able to go against each other's ghosts, it's been really helpful because you know everyone has kids now or whatever. So it's like we all can't play on the same time, but we can still beat each other, which is the most important thing in a game.
I love the insights I get in my friends from their drivatar as well. We've given more options so you can make your friends' drivatars more professional, or you can really drive the kind of raw version of them. But the amazing thing to me is, so one of the guys who's a couple desks over from me is our content director, and he was a professional, semi-professional racer doing Star Mazda, really fast. I loved having his drivatar in my races because he was a hell of a challenge. And all of a sudden over the weekend, like, his drivatar was really bad. Like, it was not only rough, it was just not very fast. So I came in and I'm giving him grief about it. I'm like, man, what happened to you? Like, what's going on with your drivatar? It turns out his young daughter had started playing the game. She was very young and was just, you know, kind of smashing into things. And I just love the insights. It leads to conversation. And that's why I love gaming. It's not just that I love to play games. I love to connect with other people, be it in multiplayer or not. You know, rib each other and have fun.
You know, one thing that was kind of missing from the press conference, and it's something that we haven't seen from you guys yet, virtual reality. Now that you're on PC, you know, you designed it for PC. Microsoft's got VR headsets coming out. They got their AR project with HoloLens. Do you see a world where this could be a VR experience?
You know, for me, our focus is really towards building this massive community of people who love cars and people who love games. And we love technology on the team. So we're always investigating lots of different types of technology. But our focus right now is on these massive community building technologies. And that's things like the auction house, that's painting and liveries, as well as esports and streaming and integration of mixers. So we're really looking at what's going to build a scale and massive community. When you talk about like technical prowess, our big focus was having native 4K, solid 60 frames per second. And doing that actually, changed how we think about architecting the game. And the last thing I'll mention is we think immersion is, we want everyone to have the same awesome level of immersion.
Yeah.
And so we had a mantra going through the whole design of the game, and that was to make it more human, which seems a little bit odd, but for us, it was about the violent forces of motorsport. We pulled the driver out, right, as I mentioned, that makes it a little bit more human.
Yeah.
We actually put more imperfections into the way the cars look. They vibrate and they rattle. It's these forces that are going to make it feel more human and relatable. And that level of immersion is what we're really focused on.
Awesome. No, and I one last thing about immersion, I think the interiors of the cars look the most detailed that I've ever seen in any Forza.
Yeah, the shaders, the advanced shaders that we've got going on, we developed them for 4K and for the Xbox One X, and yet once we developed them, we found they added benefit to the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, and min-spec PC as well. So kind of all boats rise as we do this kind of optimization.
No, it's awesome. So wait, when does the game come out?
October 3rd, Xbox One S, Windows 10 PC, and then on November 7th, when Xbox One X launches, free update comes into your game. It's X-Play, so you buy it once, you can play it anywhere, achievements, save games.
And cross-platform
cross-play as well. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming, Dan.
Thank you.
This was a great chat. I love this game. I love this franchise. Keep doing it. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. I can't wait to get this on October 3rd.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me into your living room.
Yeah. Have a great show.
Thanks, you too.
Yep. So we'll be back with some more interviews live from the floor at E3. And stay tuned.